Okay, so we're gonna start with the open guard and how to enter it using your hands to deflect and your elbows and your knees, and kind of really dissect going into having a guard passing so you don't leave yourself open for a lot of attacks. So Dane will lay down. He's going to be in the open guard, feet in the air, okay, waiting for me to enter. So a lot of times, if I just start to enter, Dane's going to get his grips on me and he's going to start to automatically be attacking, and I'm behind. So I want to try to enter the guard being attacking. So best case scenario is I want to drop my level to be closer to him rather than be up high and coming down into his attacks, right? So first things, his first line of defense are his feet, okay? So if I start entering and I'm reaching past his foot, Dane's going to be able to set up whatever guard. Dane really likes to have a lasso. He's very good at this position. So as soon as I reach, I'm already going defensive, okay? So rather than reaching, and same, I don't want to step in and give him, again, I have to defend before I can attack. So I want to avoid that at all costs. So I'm constantly attacking from start to finish. So I'm going to use my hands to start controlling the feet, right, rather than reaching. I want to get my hand close to the heel, and I want to start to turn his foot out to make it with a lot of tension on his hips, okay? The more he's comfortable, the more he can hipscape and control, right? So as Dane wants to pummel, I want to grab and control. So as soon as I push, I'm going to get a reaction. He's going to either push back or he's turned, so that's where I'm going to use to start to get my angle. If I start to stand and I move too much, there's a lot of space for Dane to recover. He'll hipscape, boom, he'll come right back. So I want to avoid that. So best ways are my knees and my elbows are close together. As I enter, I'm putting pressure. I'm controlling his feet, and as I start to put pressure and he reacts, okay, this one's the closest one to me, so I will deflect. At the same time, now I have my guard. I can start to pass it off with my hand's on his knees. It's hard for him to come back. Then I can advance my body. So now I've passed the foot line. Now I'm on a hip and knee line, and my hands can go forward so that my body now will take over the grip. So that's the idea is as I pass, I don't want to leave my hands behind as my body travels forward, because now I don't have a transition. Once I get here, Dane's going to be able to push. As I let go, he's already recovered his guard, and now I'm defensive, right? So the idea is to focus on the transition. So as soon as I push, okay, now I've released the foot, I'm coming to the knee, I'm going to let this grip travel forward, I'm going to make my body replace this grip, so now my hands can go forward as I start to move to pass the guard, so I have my transitions, okay? So that's kind of what we're really going to go over in many different positions is this concept, how to transition my hands for attacking and letting my body be the grip. Okay, so one more time, let's go from this angle here. Dane will scoot over. So important when you see, I don't want to grab the toes, right? I really want to put most of my hand on the heel so I can put pressure to turn his hip outward. Okay, so I'm grabbing and I'm controlling. Staying, as I start to push, Dane definitely wants to control distance and push back. So that's how I pass, right? So as I push, control, hand goes to the knee, my body comes in. Now this grip goes forward, my body controls this grip, and we enter in a leg drag position. We'll say you could go to side control, hand on the mat, but today we're just going to focus on passing off. Okay, so one more time. So it's like one pass. If he circles, I'm catching, same thing, moving back, moving forward. My knee takes over my grips are ready to attack the next transition, and my body now has controlled the grip of the legs, right? Once I pass the foot, I just need to focus on knee line and hip. Once I get to the hip, I'm able to control his movements, and from there would be the next transition. So again, I'll control this one. I start to put pressure going out. He doesn't like that, okay? So if he changes, I still have my foot. Look, his guard is to this side. I'm already in an angle that I'm passing the knee. Okay, if I start to follow him and he hipscapes and I'm still in front of him, this is better for Dane. So if I start to push and he hipscapes, boom, okay, here, Dane's comfortable. He's gonna start to reach my collar maybe. Whatever Dane likes to do, he has the option. So that's what I want to avoid, is being in front of him. Rather, I control and I start to turn out. He goes to hip escape. Look, I've already beat the angle. Okay, now from here I can pass, circle. I'm not letting him get to my knees. As soon as I'm passing off, so one, I pass, I'm controlling. I've already beat the angle. Leg drag, pinch his hips, body goes over the knee line, and I can go underhook to get to his back. Side control, I can stop. Whatever your jiu-jitsu from that point is, depending on your body type. If you're a larger guy, maybe it's better to go side control. If you're a smaller, quicker guy, you get the grip underneath his arm. Now you can start to attack the back, force him to turtle, and you'll work for your body. So again, I personally like to always lead with my right foot rather than being square. So with my right foot being forward, it's kind of like I have my defense. This is where my guard, when we talk about the guard, because Dane wants to get his feet in and start playing. So here I'm constantly closed. If he tries to reach in, I can change and move. So my hands are low. If I tried to come in and start to play and pass the guard with my butt high, Dane has all the ability to get underneath me and start his guard, start to attack me. So we're constantly with our hands and our knees. If he gets past my hand, I start to use my elbow. So it's just kind of like if we were to pummel, like a wrestling technique, that's what I want, but I don't want to give him the space. So he beats my hand, I start to use my elbow, pass off, body takes over the grip. Now I can release, move forward, and I'm not using my hands to control my pass, rather I'm using my hands to deflect, bringing my body forward to keep the weight so my hands can go to the next transition, which would be looking for the submission, right? Your hands are going to collar, sleeve, armbar, kimura grip. Maybe I want to take his back, so you're already looking for the grip to get to the transition to the finish. That's the concept. Let's go from this angle here. Put your back that right there, Nate. So again, I want to control and put pressure, constantly turning him. Every time he tries to push back, I can get it out of the way. If he goes to hip escape, boom, control. So here's the thing. I don't really want to try to pass to the front side because Dane has his hips behind him and he has all his strength to control me, right? So it's it would be a harder pass. So what I'm really trying to look for, as I turn, when he goes, I start to deflect, right? If he gets in, I can start to use my elbow. He gets underneath, I use my elbow. I pass my hand off. Now I need to go direct because I don't want him to get his knee line back. So the quicker I get to this, now he can't come back. If I keep my hands here and I don't replace the grip with my body, and as I start to come, when I release, Dean's gonna have the space to, boom, lasso leg will probably start to come, and I'm gonna lose the position. I'm gonna use a lot of strength to get there, okay? So as soon as I pass off, I want to body connection. Now my hands are in front, my weight is underneath my body, I'm not too far spread out, my feet aren't too close together. I constantly want to be shoulder width apart. So boom, I'm dropping my weight, letting my hands go forward to start controlling my grips, and my body takes over. My whole body stays down. If I keep my head up, Dane will be able to get a hold of my chest really easy. There's not much pressure holding him. It'll be an easier. So when my hands go, my body falls. So my head is as close to his head and chest as possible. If my head gets closer to his hip line, he has much more energy to push. He has much more freedom for his hips to move, and it's going to cause us more problems. So again, the first concept of as we're entering to pass with a guy with a guard, it's keeping my posture low, my knees and my elbows from not reaching. So as I move, he wants to start getting in. He'll start to try to get his grips. I'm passing off every time. I want to control his foot. This hand is to weight. Let's say he tries to get to the half guard. Boom, change. Now look, his knee line's still in the way. So if I get my hands to try to push the knee, he gets a grip on my hands. Now I'm not gonna be able to keep passing. So rather, my hand goes, I use my body, change the angle, change my body. Now I'm on his hips. And if you can see, his strength of his guard is going one way and his shoulders are going the other way. It's gonna make him very weak. Not that he can't recover, but it's gonna be very, very difficult for him. And that gives me the better chance for my transition. And the transition would be to side control or back take. Okay, so that will be the first part. Where comes this in? That will be the first part of what we're gonna start going over is how to use our elbows, our knees, rather than relying on, let me get a grip to remove this, because when I get a grip, my opponent, or in this case, Dane will also be able to get a grip, and maybe his grip will outgrip my grip. So the idea of this is to staying with our knees and elbows, having a closed guard when we're passing to parry and defeat the position with our body rather than focusing on our grips.